Suppose this is our input A, B, and output Y. We have 4 cases. Suppose 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. What is the corresponding output of XOR gate? All, yeah, 0, 1, 1, 0. This is the corresponding output of XOR gate. XOR. Now, how to calculate XOR? Basically, for calculating XOR, we have basically we use this like this: A into not of B plus B into not of A. So in the first case, if you can see, the value of A is 0. What will be the value of not of B? It will be 1 plus B. The value of B is 0. Not of A will be again 1. So if you get the output, you will get the output as 0. 0 into 1, 0. 0 into 1, 0. 0 plus 0 will be 0. In the second case, value of A is 1. Value of not of B will be 1 plus B is 0 and not of A will be 0. That in this case, we'll get 1 plus 0. That means we'll get the value as 1. So here I'm putting some library. I'm putting matplotlib also because we'll plot the loss curve and accuracy curve. Okay, so import matplotlib.matplotlib.matplyplot as plt. And the next one is import numpy as np. Import TensorFlow as, and here the new library has been introduced, the TensorFlow, and import okay, and say we'll create our data sets. So let us take as the input data. We can call it as a training data. Okay. Similarly, we will take it for output. So let's take the variable as target data is equal to np.array, and here I will use the other way 0. The next one I will get the output as 1. Next one I'll get the output as 1. The fourth output I'll get as 0. Yeah. So if I print training data, I'm getting this, and if I print target data, I'm getting this. So we'll create an empty model of, or we can say using Keras. Keras is an inbuilt library in TensorFlow itself. Okay. Model is equal to model. That means the complete, you can say the perceptron model that we have applied there. It will be consisting of input layer, it will be consisting of hidden layer, it will be consisting of output layer. So combinedly, all three will be called as a model. Okay. So tf.keras.models.sequential. So now sequential is a type of model. Basically, we have two types of model. The first one is the functional, and the second one is the sequential. So sequential is the better way basically, and we use this sequential only in most of the cases. I'll tell you the difference between these two basically. In the sequential model, like this is our input layer, this is our hidden layer, and this is our output layer. So in the sequential, the input layer is connected to hidden layer, and the hidden layer is connected to our output layer. So it's like a sequence only. So this is called sequential model. But in the functional model, what we basically do, like this is a sequence, but the difference is one more. like the input is layer is directly connected to output also. It's connected to like this also, but it is also connected to the output also. Fine. So this is the basically difference between sequential and functional. We have to add the layers. Okay. So now we will add the layer. So here we will add the model dot add adding layers to model. Okay, so model dot add tf dot keras dot layers dot tense. Sorry. Dot layers dot dense 4 comma input underscore dimension is equal to 1, sorry, 2, and activation is equal to rel. Yeah. So now we have created two layers. The first one is our input layer. I'm not taking a hidden layer because it's not a complex statement. And the second one is our output layer. Now, we have a two types of layer, dense, and the next one is flatten. The first one is dense and the next layer is flatten. Difference between these two is what? In the dense layer, we have to pass the number of dimensions that we are using. So if you are using dense layer, you should be knowing about the dimension, that how many dimension is that. And the flatten layer, it is irrespective of the dimension. If you don't know the dimension, you can directly use flatten layer. The flatten layer is irrespective of the dimension. There is no need to pass a dimension. You can simply work on. It will automatically just check the dimension and it will take it. So if you don't know the dimension, you can directly use flatten. And if you know the dimension, so then you have to use dense. Fine. So this 4 is what? The number of inputs that we are going to pass. And as the input is having the dimension of 2, this means you can see this is a 2-dimensional input, right? That's why we are using here input dimension equal to 2. And the activation function that we are going to use is ReLU function. Here you can take any function you want. But I told you this gives us a good accuracy. That's why I'm taking a ReLU or sigmoid. You can reverse also, no problem. Fine. This 4 is the number of inputs that we are going to pass. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in case of output layer, we have only one output that we will be getting, 0 and 1. Fine. So in that, the dimension is only 1. So it's not mandatory to pass input dimension equal to 1. You can write here input dimension equal to 1, or you can skip that. And activation function I am using at sigmoid. Fine. So now if I execute this, my model has been added to basically the layers had been added to this model. Okay, fine. Right here, model dot summary. See, we got two layers. Configuring learning process. So here I will write model dot compile. So now, first of all, I'm using the loss function as a simple loss function, that is mean squared error, that is MSE, that we have just studied, that quad function, summation of y minus predicted actual output minus predicted output ka whole square, and we take the mean. So we are taking the loss function as a mean squared error. Okay. Then the next one is the optimizer that we are going to use. That's the gradient descent. So the default optimism is what? It's a predefined optimism. Okay, optimizer that's known as Adam. Fine. Is in the summary, what does param means? Param is basically the number. Actually, I will have to check that. Basically, the number of inputs into the number of layers. Basically, number of neurons. Basically. So I'll just check this. I will tell you about this. I have to check that basically. Basically, as if I know that the number of neurons will be 4, na? So 4 into number of inputs will be like as if I have studied previously. I'll just check and tell you too. So this code is not complete. Let me complete this, then I will paste the code. Now, optimizer is this is predefined optimizer Adam, like we have a SGD also. So we have different types of optimizer. The Atom, generally 90% case we use Adam only. This is the best optimizer that we give the good output. Okay. And the last one is the matrix. Matrix means what data we want after training. So we want the accuracy. So I will write here binary underscore accuracy. It's a predefined keyword. Here you can use accuracy also, but later we are going to plot on the graph also. That's why I'm taking here binary accuracy. If you take simply accuracy, it can't be plotted on the graph. So that's why we are taking here binary accuracy. Fine. So now for training, what I will do here, I'll just take one variable. We can take the variable as trained, I'm taking as a trained. Okay. So trained equal to model dot fit. So I will just fit my data to our model. So here I will pass my training data, then target data, then epoch. Epoch is nothing, the number of iterations. Okay, the loop that we have used. So here I'm using 500 iterations. So it will be trained 500 times. So if you're not getting good accuracy, you can increase the epoch value. Okay, so epoch is nothing, it's a number of iterations. That means number of training that we are going to do. So now if I execute this, our model in okay, sorry, it's here nb underscore epoch. Yeah. So now if I execute this, it will take some time. Now see, it's executing 1/13. Now till 500 times it will execute. You can see this. See. So my training has been done. Now all of you can see here, I'm getting your binary accuracy. So this is the matrix only. If you give their accuracy, you will get accuracy here. Now you can see here, when the training was started, the loss was 0.24 and the accuracy was 0.75. Then in the next step, the loss was 0.2490. That means it has reduced something, and the accuracy got to 0.5. Then again, every step you can see the loss is being reduced and the accuracy is constant till, let me see, the constant till yeah, till here, till 271 iterations. After 271, the accuracy has been increased to 0.75. So now if we increase more and more, here after like 303, we got the 100% accuracy after this. Here we got the 100% accuracy. Here we have less number of inputs that we are getting. That's why we are getting 100% accuracy. But in general cases, we don't get. Fine. So we have less number of inputs, that's why we are getting 100% accuracy. So now our model is trained, and now we will just predict the value. The next thing, or we can say the last thing that we can do is now we have to predict the value now. So let us predict the value. So model dot predict, and here I will pass the training data. Model dot predict the training data. So here you can see the output that we are getting. I round this. So if I round this, I'm getting the value as this one. Fine. So this is basically the output that we are getting, the predicted values. In the first case, 0.45, 0.57, 0.74, but not good accuracy, we can say. Fine. Not the much good accuracy, but rounding off will getting the good accuracy. Now, what you can do, we can see this value on the plot. For this, what you can do, like loss underscore plot is equal to trend dot history. Now history you can directly pass loss. What is this loss? This loss is nothing, this value that we are passing, this one, this keyword basically. Okay, so then we can plot plt dot plot, and here I can simply pass loss plot, and then plt dot curve. Sorry, not curve, show. Yeah, so this is basically the plot of the loss curve. So we can see the loss is going reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce until 500 iterations. Okay. Similarly, you can plot it for accuracy also. Fine. So accuracy, what you can do, I will take here only. Let's take the color as red. Okay. So this is the loss one, and give the label as loss curve. Plt dot legend LOC equal to, just take it as 1. Yeah. Similarly, we will do it for accuracy. So what I will do here, accu underscore plot, and here I will write this keyword, this binary accuracy. Okay. So here I will write binary accuracy, same code, and here I will write accu plot, just check it as a green, and accuracy curve. Now we execute this. So this is our loss curve and this is our accuracy curve. It's not looking good, so let's take it in a other one. In one graph it's not looking good. Delete this. Yeah. Yeah. So this is our accuracy and this is our, here we have created the basic tensor, we can say neural network of XOR gate using the TensorFlow library.